My name is Tene Sommer, and this is Marbella Life. Today's guest is fitness entrepreneur Rob Lipsett. Originally from Dublin, Rob began as a personal trainer and launched his first YouTube video a decade ago. Today, his coaching app Game Plan serves over 1,000 users, and he has built a diverse portfolio of businesses. After relocating to Marbella during COVID, Rob embraced the coastal living and he's starting a family here. In this episode, we explore his work ethic, his approach to overcoming challenges, the law of attraction, and the secrets behind his success. Plus, fresh fitness and nutrition tips to help you gear up for summer. Get ready to be inspired and energized by Rob's journey and insights.
Oftentimes, we're led to believe that we're stupid or that we're failures in life, especially from school, but we're actually just being pushed into the wrong things. So instead of trying to be good at something you hate, something you don't even want to be good at, we should double down on our strengths and what we are good at.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Well, so this is what happens when you follow your passion.
Yeah.
You know, stop trying to fit in when you were made to stand out.
Exactly.
You know, with something.
Yeah. And
it's
it's a cliche thing.
Yeah.
We say, follow your passion. You see it everywhere. You see it everywhere because it's true. If you're actually doing something you like to do, you have an insane competitive advantage over someone who is just half-assing it, who doesn't really want to do it. You know, people want to go straight to the top, and I think that's because of social media. Is people will see people on jets, villas, living the good life, and they want that straight away. And so you can't have it straight away.
Yeah.
It's not how life works.
No. So what makes you the most money out of all of these? Surely you've had some big setbacks or some huge challenges that made you question. And tell me, and if you had any of those, and how did you overcome?
Many, like every day, and it was so embarrassing. I was nearly crying. You know, like you're like, why aren't people showing up? And then I realized I just need to put in more work. Yeah.
So basically, the book changed your life.
It did, and it's such a simple book. Everyone's read it, but no one actually follows it. Like crazy, like delusional. But I just started thinking like that, and then the universe, it started just sending good luck my way, and opportunities would just appear out of nowhere.
What would be like one advice that you can give everyone who wants to get fit for the summer, just do something better, like one change that would make a huge difference that they can do tomorrow? Hello everyone, here I am with the lovely Rob. Thank you so much for hosting me in your home, in your house, in your office. It's amazing. I love the space. It's so bright and beautiful.
Thank you.
And the perfect location, obviously.
I know, right? When I was building it, I was like, how do I make this like a podcast studio?
It's perfect. And it's so quiet here.
Oh.
You're like in the center of everything, but it's so quiet and peaceful and it's beautiful.
It's like the perfect distance. Like you're close to the action,
Yes.
but you're also a little bit out of it as
It's-
well.
it's
So yeah, I love
perfect.
it.
So thank you so much for taking time off from your busy schedule. I know you do a million things. I hope we can cover half of them. But yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Really appreciate that.
But people who don't know you, and I mean, obviously, I don't know you as much. I just know a little bit about you.
Yep.
I've seen you in the gym. You know, I know a little bit about you through social media. But tell my viewers and my listeners, who is Rob? What do you do and how do you get here?
For sure. So my name is Rob Lipsett, and I would describe myself as a fitness entrepreneur or also a YouTuber. And so I uploaded my first YouTube video 10 years ago, and that's what changed my life. Before that, if you go back even further, I failed college, so I had to drop out. You know, I kept failing all my exams and having to repeat the year. I was going nowhere in life. I worked a 9-to-5 that I absolutely hated, and I still got fired from that. And so I really thought I was a failure. Just I had no direction in life, and I didn't know where I was going. And at the time, I was about 21, which is kind of when you're going into adult life. And so I was super worried. I was like, what the hell am I going to do in my life? You know, I have no third level education to apply for a job. You know, I got fired from all my jobs. Life was really at a standstill for me. And so I stripped everything back and said, Rob, what is the only thing you're obsessed with? What is the only thing you're passionate about? What are you good at? And the only thing that I've ever been consistent at in life is going to the gym. So I said,
Really?
how can I make a living from going to the gym? And so I got my personal trainer qualification. And it was the first exam I ever passed with flying colors in my whole life. And so I said, maybe I'm not stupid. Maybe I'm not an idiot. And oftentimes we're led to believe that we're stupid or that we're failures in life, especially from school, but we're actually just being pushed into the wrong things. So instead of trying to be good at something you hate, something you don't even want to be good at, we should double down on our strengths and what we are good at. So for me, I've never had an issue with fitness, training, and learning about nutrition. I genuinely, hand on my heart, I passed all my fitness personal trainer exams without studying. I didn't open a book because I knew it all already, because in my spare time, I was reading nutrition and training books. So after that, I was like, okay, now I'm on the right path. So I started training friends and family in person, and I would write everyone programs for free. And then I started a Facebook page and a YouTube channel. I started talking about fitness topics and myths, dispelling the myths. And then I would get messages, hey, Rob, I'll pay you for a program. And that was the first, I was like, oh my God, light bulb, people actually want to pay me. And when you're following your passion, when you're doing what you love, when you're showing off your knowledge, people will just want to give you money. People will want to pay you for that because they say, oh, this guy is an expert, let's sign up with him. So that was 10 years ago, and it's just been a crazy journey ever since. And I'm not slowing down, and I don't want to slow down, and I want to keep going. So it all kind of comes from YouTube, where I initially just started, training people in person, then training people online via email. And then I got too many clients to the point where I couldn't type out all the programs. It would take hours. So I built an app. It was originally called Lipsett Fitness. It's now called Game Plan. It's the same app. I built an app where I could scale all the clients I've had. And so I've had that since about 2017.
But you were born in Ireland.
Yes, I was born in Dublin in Ireland. Yeah.
So when did you make the move to come to Marbella?
Yeah, so that's an interesting one as well. I grew up in Dublin, Ireland, which I love. We still go back. It's just such an easy 2 hour, 2.5 hour flight. Direct flights from Malaga every day for like €40. So, we can just go home whenever. But I was actually living in London at the time for the year, myself and Linda, and COVID happened. And so the gyms closed in everywhere in Ireland and the UK. So not only could I not work, I couldn't make videos, I couldn't do what I do, make YouTube videos. I was going crazy. Like without the gym, I go insane. I need somewhere to channel all my energy. So I said to Linda, I was like, okay, our lease is nearly over in London. Do we go back to Ireland and, just sit at home locked up? And I said, let me look up where in Europe are the gyms open. And half the gym, I moved for the gyms. Like literally, for me, it's all about the gym. I'm really about that life. And so we looked up Marbella, and we had a few friends here. And I actually used to work in Portavenus in Skybar when I was 19, just as handing out flyers. Like, come on, would you like to come in for some shots? Not health and fitness.
No.
And so I have always gone to Marbella since I was a young teenager. And so I know my way around the place. And the gyms are open because the gyms are outdoors here. So all Paddle Club was open, Elements with the outdoor section, because remember that BS rule, you can eat outdoors and you can train outdoors, whatever, the gyms are open. So I said, Linda, let's go here for a month. And when I came here, the nightclubs are closed, but the gyms are open. So I said, oh, I can actually work here. I can be productive and not just get wasted and, piss away your life. Because in previous times, I would go to Marbella for a weekend, and a lot of people do this. They'll go to Marbella and they'll just party and they'll go home. But it's actually, if you live here and work here, it is the best quality of life in Europe. Like now there's a crazy entrepreneurial community. There's the best gyms. They're the biggest gyms. I have 5 gym memberships. They're like the best fitness facilities in Europe. The best weather. It doesn't get more southern. Direct flights everywhere, and pretty much like a very international English speaking community. So there's really nowhere like it. And so I just fell in love with the place. Bought a villa here, renovated it, and I love it.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Well, so this is what happens when you follow your passion.
Yeah.
Stop trying to fit in when you were made to stand out,
Exactly.
with something
Yeah,
like
and
following your passion.
it's a cliche thing.
Yeah.
We say follow your
Yeah.
passion. You see it everywhere. You see it everywhere because it's true. You have, if you're actually doing something you like to do, you have an insane competitive advantage over someone who is just half-assing it, who doesn't really want to do it. And I see so many people in the fitness industry, they'll try to get into the fitness industry and they'll, just because it's trendy or it's cool, and they think they want to do it, but they don't really want to do it. And after 2 or 3 years, they just disappear. So if you want to actually have a long-term career in your industry, follow your passion. Do something that you don't mind doing for free. I was doing all the programs for free. I've got the receipts. I'm doing everyone's work for free. Even now I do public speaking. I did all my first talks for free. So I would say work for free for the first while if you really want to do it,
Yeah. The same, let's say, with my podcast. I do it
Yeah.
for free because I love it.
Yeah, yeah.
It is my passion. So hopefully, one day will be something, but I don't even care. If
Yeah.
it doesn't happen, I'm happily doing something on the side that I love doing that, brings me together with amazing people, and always learn from that.
That's the best attitude.
Yeah. So what other businesses do you run? Because this is not only what you do, the programs and the
Yes.
speaking. You also have what else do you do?
Yes. So there's a few different streams of revenue that I do, but it all kind of stems from YouTube and social media, and that's how I promote it. So I have, the one-on-one coaching where I'll work with an individual one-on-one. I have the app, which is there's hundreds, I think it's near over 1,000 users at this stage. So there's that's kind of like a second form of coaching. I have a pancake business as well, a protein pancake company called Fuel Cakes. I give you some now actually after the podcast. There's that. And then I also work with two of the biggest health and fitness brands from America, Ghost, which is like supplements, like pre-workout and protein, and then Alphalete, which is what I'm always wearing pretty much. And that is gym clothing. And then you have the actual like YouTube money, like you're paid on YouTube AdSense. And then I'll work with like some brands on like one-off sponsorship deals. So I think there's seven different forms of revenue and things that I have to keep on top of.
So what makes you the most money out of all of these?
Probably the app. Yeah, the app. So coaching, and that's always what I've done since day one. So that's what I'm an expert in. Oh, and also number 8, I guess, is I do like business events and fitness and business events. So I always do one in Marbella. I've done some in the UK, many in Ireland, of course. And I just put on a weekend where I bring roughly 6, 7, or 8 CEOs and entrepreneurs together. And I essentially just do a live podcast, so there'll be about 100, 200 people in the room. And I just interview the entrepreneurs on their journey.
That's really cool.
And it's always like just the best weekend. Like everyone is pumped up afterwards, ready to go. And the best feeling ever is when someone from the crowd messages me like 6 months later and they go, Rob, I was at your event. Because of that event, I went on to start this business. And then their business is like blowing up. I'm like, hey, can I get some shares in that? But it's crazy. It's super fulfilling to inspire people to get started on their entrepreneurial journey.
So of all these things that you do, which is crazy, how big is your team? Because you can't manage all of that on your own.
Yeah, for sure. So so at the beginning, you're going to have to do everything yourself.
Yeah.
That's it. And so I call it the transition period because when I started and I was working these like 9-to-5 jobs that I hated, I was still trying to get my fitness business off the ground. I didn't just start YouTube and start coaching and everyone's like, yay, and that's it. No, I worked jobs I hated. So I'd wake up at like 7 a.m. I would commute to work in Dublin. I would work 9 to 6. That was actually my hours. And then at 6 o'clock, Dublin traffic, maybe take an hour to get home. Between 7 and 8, I would eat dinner. 8 and 9, I would go to the gym. I'd get home from the gym at 9:30 at night. And that's when, and between, 9:30 to 2 a.m., that's when I would do my fitness coaching and work on my fitness business. And then I'd sleep 4 hours and have to wake up and do it again. And I did that for about 8 months until I could quit my job. But that is the hardest part ever, is the start, where you are just up till early hours in the morning, no sleep, working your 9 to 5 not even on the side, like you're doing your side hustle on the
Mm-hmm,
side.
mm-hmm,
And that's the hardest time ever. It feels like a 24-hour day.
mm-hmm,
So that's what I was doing, everything at the beginning. And then over time, once you get more revenue and capital to invest back, you can hire some people. So I'll hire a YouTube editor, I'll hire a videographer, I'll then hire someone to do customer service, hire a graphic designer. And so at this stage, I'm chilling. I don't do much anymore. So and then you get to the stage where you have to remove yourself from the business as much as possible, but you still need to do the things that only you can do. No one else can sit here and do this podcast.
Yeah.
I could get someone to do my emails. You know, I could get someone to do my editing. I could even get someone to reply to comments on Instagram for me, and no one will know if it's me or not. AI Rob doesn't exist yet.
Yeah.
You know,
they're doing the clones.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm like, I would love to get a robot to just sit here. I'm like, I'm going to go upstairs and we have the robot. But so right now I just do the things that only I can do. So calls, interviews like this, podcasts, creating content, the whiteboard over there. So that's mainly what I focus on now, just doing the things that that Rob Lipsett has to do.
Yeah, so now you're enjoying the fruit of your hard labor.
Exactly. Yeah.
So what would you say is also, what would be the key to your success?
So
what would you?
Yeah, I would say just turning up nonstop for 10 years. So one thing is I have the receipts. You can go look at my first ever YouTube videos when the camera quality is terrible. I'm in this weird shared accommodation house. You can go look at them. I've been doing this 10 years. So when someone comes up to me and they're like, oh, I've been trying to grow on social media for a year. I've been trying to do my coaching business for a year. I'm like, try 10 years. Look, 10 years. So it's just literally showing up, and the person that never quits can't lose.
Yeah.
It's impossible. And on a long enough time scale, everyone wins. I've never actually met someone who has stuck at something long enough and didn't end up figuring it out. Like if you stay at it, you'll figure it out.
So not quitting, basically.
Pretty much.
And also doing the hard work, because I think the new generation is trying to get it easy. They think, oh, Rob is a YouTuber. I want to be a YouTuber. But they're not ready for the hard job.
No.
You know, they're not ready to do a job and do the side hustle, work at night, work in the morning, work, because it's a lot of work.
Exactly.
And that's something that maybe they don't really see, you know, from the YouTube videos.
People are entitled and they don't want to put in the work. And like I briefly said, they don't want to work for free.
Yeah.
You know, people want to go straight to the top. And I think that's because of social media, is people will see people on jets, villas, living the good life, and they want that straight away. And so you can't have it straight away. Yeah. It's not how life works.
No. And the same, let's say, in real estate. I know a lot of people who are seeing us, oh, real estate, making so much money. Yeah, but people who are real estate and making money, they've been there the same 10 years.
Exactly.
It doesn't work like that. You might get lucky, but let's be honest, it takes time. So time and effort, guys. Put in the work.
That's it. That's it.
But surely you've had some big setbacks or some huge challenges that made you question. And tell me, and if you had any of those, and how did you overcome?
Many, like every day, every day something goes wrong. So, for example, you know, I do really successful business events now, and they always sell out. The first time I ever tried to put on an event in Dublin, 0 tickets sold, 0. And I rented out the venue. I planned everything. I put it online. I got the graphic designer. I put the website live, and I was like, hey guys, big fitness seminar here in Raw Gym, Dublin, 0 tickets. And I had to cancel the whole event. And it was so embarrassing. I was nearly crying, you know, like you're like, why aren't people showing up? And then I realized I just needed to put in more work. I needed to market better. I needed to make it an offer that was irresistible. Like you need to make, if you're starting a business or a service or an event, you need to have it so people think, oh, I'd be crazy not to go to this. You know, and so oftentimes people don't want to hear that. They're like, why isn't anyone buying my product? Or why isn't anyone going to my event? It sucks. It's not good enough. That's it. Sorry. And that was me, you know, and I was like, what? And so, yeah, there's been many times where I've launched a product, maybe a coaching offer, a real life event like that. And it just flops, and it doesn't sell the way you thought it would be. But you just kind of, what I do is I laugh at failure. It's kind of funny. Like, look at this loser. Yeah, I was like, oh, you know, this crybaby over here. You have to have a little bit of humor. Just laugh at yourself, and again, show up the next day.
you got great energy and so much positivity, and I love your mindset. But have you always been like that? Did you grow up to be like that, or have you adopted it like on your fitness and your entrepreneurial journey, or what has influenced you to be
Yeah.
like that?
So, and no, I was actually really negative. And so also, first of all, you got me in the morning. The
Mm-hmm.
morning is a good time for me,
You're
you know?
hyped after a
I'm hyped.
coffee.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
some pre-workout in here. But so yeah, in the mornings, I'm a morning person for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I actually asked you to
Mm-hmm.
come a little bit earlier. But no, I was often, so first of all, I'm not always like super positive. I try to be, but
Mm-hmm.
we all have our down days,
Mm-hmm.
obviously. But I used to be like really negative,
Mm-hmm.
especially when I was finishing school,
Mm-hmm.
because all the teachers, like my grades were so bad.
Yeah.
I kind of just was led to believe that I was a failure, and I would always like default to negative and
Mm-hmm.
kind of like I would self-deprecate myself and kind of put myself down. And your words are spells. So they're real things. It's like how anytime you say something, you're casting a magic spell pretty much. So you need to be very, very careful with your words, because anything you say, you speak into existence. And that goes for good things and
Yes.
bad things. And so I read a book called The Secret. You know, everyone
Me
knows
too.
that book. It's the gold standard
Yeah.
of positive thinking. And just one day, the next day, I was like, I'm just gonna think the best possible scenario for everything. Like I looked myself in the mirror and I'm like, you're the man. You can do anything. Like you got this. Like crazy,
Yeah.
like delusional.
Yeah.
But I just started thinking like that, and then the universe, it started just sending good luck my way, and opportunities would just appear out of nowhere. And then one thing that I read a lot into, and it's this kind of train of thought changed my life. You can either be living in abundance or scarcity. They're the two ways you can live. Abundance is there's so much money out there. There's so much opportunity out there. There's too many clients. There's too many people that need my services. And scarcity is like, oh God, there's not much left. Oh God, you're like a beggar, you know, oh God, where's the next client coming from? So you need to be living in abundance, and you think like the world is so big, like there's room for everyone at the top. And so once you start living in abundance, just good stuff comes your way. So yeah,
So basically, the book changed your life.
it did, and it's such a like a simple book. Everyone's read it, but no one actually follows it.
No,
No, everyone reads it, and that's it. No one actually follows through with it.
Yeah, I think I actually watched the movie first.
Oh yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's all
And
it's all
I
the
was
same.
for me it was also like a mind-blowing moment, like a light bulb, when I was like, oh my God, they've been hiding this. Like
Yeah,
it's true.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's true. Like what they teach you in school, they kind of put you down. The grades are not good. You're not good enough. You're a bad boy. You're this. You're
Yeah.
that. You know. And it, of course, words are energy. Words are, like you say, it's magic. So
Yeah.
it's I think also this should be compulsory literature in school.
Oh,
Grade one. Let's start with The Secret.
exactly.
Yeah.
I wish,
Yeah.
like,
Maybe you need to do your own school.
yeah.
I've really been thinking that someone needs to do a new school. Yeah, or like after school, then let's say.
Yeah, I've actually gone back to my school and my college, which is funny because I dropped out of the college. I really liked my school though. I've gone back to my school to give like a talk and everyone, and yeah, that was nice.
And now the teachers are like, okay,
Yeah,
I guess we're a bit wrong about
yeah, I know. There was just one in particular that when I got my like it's called the leaving cert. It's like our final grades. When he handed them back to me, he was like, "Oh, not good. You might want to open them in private."
Oh my
And
God.
and everyone was opening their results and celebrating, and I didn't open mine up for 2 days. I was so afraid. So that I know, and I was like, "Fucking joke's on you."
Yeah, exactly. Well,
Yeah.
well, now you're living the life.
Yeah, I'm like, what color is your villa?
There is no villa.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But what do you consider success?
So yeah,
Do
no,
you consider yourself successful?
yeah, I absolutely love my life. I've reverse engineered my life to just I've made my day look exactly how I want it. You know, and that's what I recommend people do. So success is different for everyone. You know, some people would hate my day.
Yeah.
Like some people don't want to go on camera, and some people don't want to, you know, go to the gym as much as I do, and or some people they don't want to work on the things I do. So success is very different for each individual. So just ask yourself within reason, what would my ideal day look like? What would my perfect day look like? And you'd actually be surprised. Like, it's not that hard to get there. Like, as long as you're not like, wake up, win the lotto, drive a Ferrari, you know, well, you can get there as well. But like, as long as it's within reason, you'd be surprised how you can you can formulate and synthesize your dream day. And so success for me is just basically being able to have my perfect day, which is I'll wake up at around 7. I'll do like some deep, meaningful work between 7 to 11, such as recording podcasts, just getting all my replies done, client work, editing. 7 to 11, and then 11 to 12, I'll go to the gym. So I'll go to the gym after this, and then I'll record after my workout. I'll record some gym content. At around 1 or 2, I'll have a nice, big, healthy lunch. And then I'll get outside, I'll go for a walk, I'll jump in the sea. And then for the next kind of second work block of the day, like between maybe 3 to 6, I'll just do kind of some easy tasks, finish off the rest of the things I need to do. 6 o'clock, have dinner, me and Linda will relax, and that's the perfect day. And that's pretty easy. It's just as long as I get to go outside in nature, work on my business, do fulfilling work, and hit the gym, I'm happy. And I would do that in Dublin as well. Like, so, that's my dream day, and that's pretty easy to do. So that's what I quantify success as. And also being time and freedom. That is the real luxury in life. It's not like the fast cars or expensive watches. It's just having the time to have a slow morning sometimes.
Yeah, and you get to do what you love. Like you said, you get to wake up and go to the gym.
Yeah, that's the ultimate win.
Put your white collar suit on, like
yeah,
sit in an office and play solitaire.
Been there, I've been there. Yeah.
And how important is mental health for you? And do you do any meditations or any spiritual practices? And how do you keep fit here?
So it's just as important as your physical health. And the two of them, I don't even view them separately. Like, I just think they're the same thing, because you can't have one without the other. And people argue with me on this. I've personally never met someone who is in good shape. They're lean, they're healthy. Their actual markers of health are healthy. They're doing fulfilling work. They're getting out in nature as much as possible. And, they have a nice circle of friends. I've never met anyone who ticks all those boxes who is in a bad place mentally. Maybe there is, but I've just never met them. So I think once you do all those things, you get sunlight, you follow a nutrient-dense diet, you stay healthy, it's kind of impossible to be in a bad mood, at least for me. Like, sometimes when something goes wrong or I'm in a bad mood, I get a big sleep. I wake up, I cancel everything, and I just have a really long gym session, get all my anger out in the gym. I cook a really healthy meal, all my problems go away.
So you never meditate or do yoga or any slow?
Yeah, I do meditate as well regularly, and I do breath work. Also, I have an ice bath outside as well. It is great. It's as cold as it gets. And when you're in that, you really can't think about anything else. So that's another time all my problems go away. But yes, I do meditation and breath work as well. And pray to God as well. That's always a go to me and Linda. Always pray to God at night. That's the ultimate form of meditation. Just being grateful. Just saying thank you.
Grateful is the frequency, the energy of all the positivity. So this is also probably something you teach to your, let's say, students or coaching. Is not just about eat your protein, work out 5 times a day. It's about the mental.
It's about everything. It's like, the eat your protein, lift weights. That's being said. That's the basic stuff. But so with my app community, I have like a call every week, and we kind of like rarely talk about fitness. Like, we talk about just like anything, just your overall lifestyle.
I feel like you're more like a coach mentally and like giving them positivity and motivation and all of that, because I think people do know kind of what to do, but they're just missing that little push that Rob is telling you. Oh no, like, I can't keep, I have to.
You want accountability,
and I don't want to let Rob down. I don't want to let myself down. And I think it's people just sometimes need that extra push. And you have such good energy that I'm sure after the call they're so hyped.
Yeah, and I'm hyped as well. Like, everyone bounces off each other energy, and that's why, like, the most important thing is the people you have in your life. It's your friend group, it's your community, it's your relationships. That's there's actually an interesting. I'm not sure if it's a study, but it's a fact. It's how it is. So the longest living people in the world, it's not actually about diet and exercise. It's about community.
And relationships.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what really helps you live to 100,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's the Italians or the Japanese or
Yes.
something.
Yeah.
But whatever is the longest living community in the world, there's a good
There's
Netflix documentary on
the
this.
blue zones.
That's it. Yeah,
There's
exactly.
like
And
a
they
few
cite all the
areas.
studies
Yeah.
in that. And yeah, the longest living are those who have a good
Mhm.
community.
Yeah. Yeah. Keep your friends and loved ones close by.
Exactly.
And what would be like one advice that you can give everyone who wants to get fit for the summer? Just do something better, like one change that will make a huge difference that they can do tomorrow.
Follow follow a program that you can sustain and adhere to. And I say this so much, but it's just the truth. So many people, especially around January and New Year's, they'll follow this extreme diet, an extreme approach that they can sustain for maybe 2 weeks, and then they crash and burn and they go back to their old ways straight away. Everyone's having little nods there. Yeah,
We all done
everyone's like,
that.
yeah,
We all
yeah,
done that.
we've all done that. And this, it may seem like, oh yes, I'm making so much progress in 2 weeks, but it's better to be 80% right in the long term instead of 100% right for 2 weeks. So don't go all extreme and throw everything, throw the baby out with the bathwater, go absolutely crazy and just burn yourself out. Make small changes over time. So for example, go for a walk every day and then start lifting weights twice per week, work up to 3 times per week. Start tracking your calories and your macros once per week. Then maybe do it 3 times per week. Trying to do it track your macros perfectly 7 days a week, lifting 7 days a week, doing HIIT cardio, and even sleep. People stress them out. They're like, I need to get 8 hours. You build everything up slowly until that it's just part of your lifestyle, it's part of your routine, and it just all becomes second nature. So I've been living this lifestyle for 14 years now. And so it's just all second nature to me. My fitness is on autopilot. I don't even think about it. It's just like brushing my teeth. But that wasn't always the case. So make slow, sustainable changes. I know that's not exciting. That sounds kind of weak. People want a hardcore approach, but that's just my advice.
Yeah, because people want quick results. But then what happens, like you said, maybe you can fast for 2 weeks, you lose 10 kilos, but you're going to gain 20 back by the time you start eating. So I think
everyone burns out.
Yeah.
Everyone when
do
they
something
can't.
that's sustainable.
Yeah, and eat something you love every single day. So if your diet, that's why I make fuel cakes, the pancakes. So I was like, I want to eat pancakes every day. And so if you are just depriving yourself and overly restricting yourself, you're just going to binge eat. I just see it constantly. And so people will they'll go on too low calories or too much of a restrictive diet for a week or two. And then after a while, they gorge and they just erase all their progress. They erase it in a day because they have just been depriving themselves too much.
And what do you think is the worst fitness myth or diet myth that is out there?
I think people try to demonize certain foods. They try to pinpoint in individual food as being that's the devil. Don't eat carbs. Don't eat sugar. Don't eat fat. Oh, steak is bad for you. And so technically, there's no bad foods, but there's bad diets. So it's about the whole context. It's about context. You can't just eat an ice cream and then you're like, that's the week gone. No, if you're, it's one little thing, it's a small percentage of your diet can't write off your whole diet. So people try to demonize certain foods and they say there's bad foods, but I say there's bad diets.
But I think there's so much also information and misinformation out there. How do you know which diet is right for you? Paleo, keto, plant-based, vegan, vegetarian, pescatarian, flexitarian. I don't know. I don't even know.
Exactly.
How do you know? And I think that it should be quite personal. What is, some people like more to eat more meat, carnivore diet. Some people don't like meat that much. So what is your middle ground?
That's such a good topic. And if you got a doctor and an expert from every genre, they put them in a room, they would fight to the death.
I'd love to see this debate.
Yeah, they would all disagree with each other. And so therefore you can't really say what's the best diet. It doesn't exist. So the one thing everyone can agree on though is following a diet you can sustain and adhere to. So if you like vegan, even though I would never follow a vegan diet because I can't sustain it, I can't enjoy it, I can't reach my goals with that. If you can, I can't really hate on that. If you want to follow a low carb diet, you suit yourself. But yeah, I can't tell you what to do. If someone can genuinely stick with something, well, then that's fine.
But what is your ideal diet?
Yeah, so I follow something, I would call it, if it's not really any diet, but I would call it flexible dieting. So 80% of my calorie intake comes from whole nutrient dense foods. And then, 20% comes from things that are a little bit more enjoyable, stuff that are a little bit more fun. But overall, you're getting 80% right and then saving 20% for stuff that like you're craving or want to enjoy.
So you're not going to binge during the weekend.
Exactly. I walk the walk. I sustain. You'll never catch me completely out of shape.
But what do you, because I've just listened to a podcast also from a ketogenic expert.
Yeah.
And they're saying how important actually fats are. And fats and proteins are like the main. And
Yes.
then carbs, let's say, are important, but not as important.
Yeah.
What do you think of that claim?
So that's actually quite true. Without like protein and fats, you'll die.
Yeah,
Whereas without carbohydrates, not so much. So like when I'm putting together a diet for someone, I'm designing a diet. You basically, the first thing you set is the protein and fat. So protein, you want maybe 0.8 to 1 gram per pound of body weight. So if you're 150 pounds, you'll have about maybe 140 or 150 grams of protein. That's still in the higher end, but it's just easy to remember that. And then your fat intake, you can either set it at 0.3 to 0.5, or you can set it at 20% of your total calorie intake. And so, you just do the maths, you calculate it based on your own body weight. And then with the calories left, you put them towards carbohydrates. Okay. But he's not completely wrong. Like, I think that you can get as lean as you want while still consuming carbohydrates, as long as you're in a calorie deficit. But he's right in the sense that protein and fats are the most important for just our overall health and living.
Yeah, but it is confusing. Even to me, sometimes I'm like, okay, I get that. I'm listening to that. And then another information coming, and then I'm just like, listen.
It's tiresome.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm done with you. I'm just going to also listen and feel what feels good for me.
Yeah.
If I feel good eating lentils, or if I feel good eating steak, then I'll eat more of that. Like you said, I guess you have to find your favorite foods and the foods that make you feel good.
Takes a lot of
good for you. Is gluten good for you? I think it's so personal.
Yeah, exactly. And it just takes a lot of trial and error. And that's why, like, you got to try out a few different things. Like, do your research online and make an educated guess. But ultimately, it just comes down to trial and error.
So you're doing very personalized diet plans.
Oh, completely. So when you log into the app, you can select vegan. Like, I have vegan clients, you can select vegan, you can do keto, you can do a general diet, you can select whatever you want,
Because I used to work out with a personal trainer. I mean, it was years ago, but it was all like broccoli, chicken, rice, like the old school.
It's no fun.
Like, oh,
it's no fun.
It's like, no. I mean, I can eat that for one day, but I was like, not 7 days.
Yeah, like, don't get me wrong, there's going to be a little bit of that in your diet, but you also have to have some flavor in there as well. And one of the best things you can do is learn how to cook. Learn how to cook decent food. Learn how to season things and make things taste nice.
But also, we have so many amazing places here.
I'm in Mercadona every day. I love it. It's so good.
But what are your favorite places to eat out? Like healthy lunch and good food?
Yeah, so we're right after this, we're going to Rachel's Eco Love. So they're, it's really good. They've got like a place in Nueva Lucia now. They have the El Rastro location. I was there yesterday. So I do like a Sunday run club in Marbella. And every day we start at Rachel's Eco Love and then we finish there and they give us free coffee and everything. It's really nice. So Sunday, 10 a.m. if anyone in Marbella wants to join every single Sunday. So Rachel's Eco Love is great. Manuka is really good. Planta Bistro. We went there recently. Insane. Cafe Organ, market cafe organic marketplace, whatever it's called, the one on the Gold Mile across from Marbella Club. That's amazing as well. Tomorrow for Valentine's Day, we're going to Breathe. So that'll be very,
and soul. I love.
Oh yeah, exactly. But yeah, that'll be a very tame Valentine's Day. No champagne for us.
But don't tell any more of your recommendations because I want to list your top favorite places in my blog. Okay. So you have to go and check out.
You got to go check it out. But yeah, I've just got
millions. I mean, Marbella is so, we are so lucky to have all of these beautiful places opening up. And I guess for you, is important as well, the quality of the food.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
eating this whatever packaged processed food.
Yeah.
Like you said, Rachel's and organic, they have such good produce, they
Oh,
make from the best produce, really.
even in the supermarket, like you have the fruit and it tastes like sweets. It tastes
Yeah.
like candy.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. And it's because of the weather, the Spanish weather, like it's amazing. You're like,
We're lucky.
maybe if you say so, but it's because of the Spanish weather. Like if you actually Google what's the healthiest country in the world, it's Spain. Currently it's Spain. And like when we go for a walk in the evening, maybe on San Pedro, promenade or just around the port, we always notice how much old couples there is. Like there's people walking around out to like very late, and they're like
Love that.
60s, 70s, 80s,
Yeah.
and then there's also young kids playing outside everywhere. Such a nice, healthy thing to see. Whereas like in Ireland, unfortunately, it's like the worst weather in the world. Everyone is very locked up.
Yeah, indoors, watching television, getting programmed.
Exactly.
Way,
Yeah.
living in fear.
Yeah, watching the news.
Yeah, that's the worst thing you can do.
Yeah.
I love Spain for that. Retiring here is obviously the best place to retire.
Yeah.
And I love, they're taking the walks. Everyone is so into fitness, wellness, but also I love how the old couples dress up, put their hats on, put their pearls on, having a glass of vino.
Yeah.
I love that.
Me and Linda always go, there's us. Yeah, there's us in a few years.
This is what you're, hoping that you're gonna do.
Yeah.
And you're gonna do that because you're putting the effort into the wellness, so you can then enjoy a bit of wine as well.
Exactly.
Talking about alcohol, do you drink alcohol?
So I kind of periodize it. In the summer, like when it's impossible. It's actually like rude not to. Sometimes, like you're on the beach and just everything is just, oh God, it's amazing. I drink when it's worth it. I'm not going to do the same shit week after week, and when it's just like, I call it pointless drinking. It's like there's no need to have a drink, or like when it's not a special occasion. So I'll save it for special occasions, or in summer I'll definitely relax a little bit. But during these months, like January, February, March, they're like great times to just cut it out completely, because you're always going to get better fitness results by just getting rid of it. So right now Linda is pregnant, she's obviously not drinking, and so I'm going to do the 9 months not drinking either with her. So just when it kind of suits your life, I would recommend cutting it out. And sometimes, especially with my Irish and UK clients, they'll be like, oh, Rob, my results are slow. I'm not getting results. So I'm like, you don't have to cut out. You can't cut out the booze. You just have to, it's just, sometimes it's impossible, because you're like, it's so high in calories, especially a sugary cocktail. It's like you can have like 400 calories gone like that. And then you have like 5.
And then it increases your appetite.
Not only that, it increases your appetite, it messes up your sleep. The following day, you don't move. So your step count, it dehydrates you, it makes you weaker at lifting weights. So it's just such a double negative. So like if you're trying to get shredded and you're drinking alcohol every weekend, it's an uphill battle. Like it's been possible. I don't know. I barely know anyone that can do it. And I've worked with thousands of people.
Going up and then you're crashing down. And then you're craving for this nasty food.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like swimming upstream.
Yeah.
It's so hard. Yeah. So like I've seen people, and myself included, I can maintain my physique while maybe having like, going out on the weekend or every second weekend. I can maintain, but I cannot progress.
So listen up.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Drink. At least until the summer.
Yeah, exactly.
And drink and then starting.
Exactly. Yeah, you can do 9 months, and then you can maintain, and then you can go back to it, But I do think life is for living, and there's some stages where, alcohol and having a good time can enhance the day. But I think as a society, we're really stepping away from alcohol.
I love that. Yeah, and I see that more and more.
I see it so often, and I see so many people that are either giving it up fully or giving it up for like very long periods of time.
With my last guest, it was Samantha, actually from Planta Bistro.
Oh, there's no way.
She said like she really doesn't drink much. So and I love it. Also, they are selling now drinks with non-alcoholic wine, non-alcoholic sparkling wine. I love that. That wasn't even a thing, I think, last year.
No.
So this year I really see a boom, and it used to be a bit weird when you're like, I'm not drinking. Like, what's wrong with you? You're pregnant?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, no. Not
are you on antibiotics? Are you sick?
Like, so now it's like, oh, you're not drinking. Okay, cool. People I think are starting to look up to these people.
Oh, for sure. And like another one, I say, you don't want to be the last one on the dance floor. It's never cool. No, it's never cool. Yeah.
No, but I love Marbella for that everyone is really into fitness
Oh,
and
look at the
wellness.
gyms.
Yeah.
Packed.
And more
the
gyms
seats.
opening up everywhere.
I know. It's
And I
crazy.
think clubs are going to close down.
I know. Seriously,
I mean,
people.
no, I think the tourists still go.
Yeah.
I think it's more for the tourists. But I think the locals here, we're really trying to live a healthy lifestyle.
For sure.
We're not really clubbing that much as people sometimes think you're living in Marbella, but this is...
No, I love daytime things.
Yeah.
Like I love the beach and like having like a big group lunch outside. And yeah, you have like some nice, some organic wine then.
Yeah,
But like, God, I can't even remember the amount of times we've been at like a nightclub in the past year.
I think it's just a little bit. So
Yeah.
like 2008.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'm just getting old.
No, I'm with you. I'm the same.
I'm the same. After 12, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start going.
I know. Exactly.
Yeah. But being a YouTuber, what do you think is the biggest misconception that people have about you?
Yeah, people think it's not a real job.
Yeah.
And people think, and it is. Yeah. So I've got multiple real businesses. I've worked 9 to 5. I've done many jobs. YouTube is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Ever. You are essentially starting your own TV channel. It's not called a YouTube page, it's called a YouTube channel. You're having your own channel where you are the producer, the director, the writer, the videographer. You star in it. Yeah. And like you're putting yourself out there for the world to criticize. And like and an editor as well, I forgot to say that. I'll sit down and edit a video and it will take me 12 hours. And then you have to create the thumbnail and that's another 2 hours. Whereas like I'll post on Instagram and I'm like, 10 seconds and you get loads of views, loads of likes. With every YouTube video, there's like 24 hours of work gone into it.
But how do you choose your platforms? Like you said, Instagram. You still use Instagram.
Oh, yeah,
you have a lot of following.
Yeah.
But you're still putting all your emphasis on YouTube.
Yes.
Why is that?
Because it's the most difficult, but it's also the most return. So when someone comes up to me in the gym, they're like, Rob, what's up? Let's get a photo. No one ever says like, hey, they may follow me on Instagram, but no one ever says like, hey, I see your Instagram. Everyone goes, I watch your YouTube videos because it's a lot more impactful. Like a picture is, you look at a picture and it's gone. Cool. Well, if someone sits down and watches this hour-long podcast, that's like you're creating a bond with someone. You actually know what they're like as a person. Whereas like you don't even know what someone sounds like in a picture. You don't know what they're about. There's no information. It's just a picture of me doing this.
Yeah. And the content is a lot shorter.
Exactly.
31 minutes.
Exactly. There's only so much information you can get in 15 seconds. Whereas like if you give a masterclass on business or fitness in a 40-minute video, you're actually changing someone's life. So in terms of getting clients and making sales, YouTube is the best for that. I would take 50,000 YouTube subscribers over 1 million TikTok followers.
Wow.
Easily.
But do you use TikTok as well?
A little bit. I just kind of post whatever I have like from Instagram over there. But the main thing I prioritize is YouTube and Instagram. And so this is also how you can create like so much content and not get too stressed out. So there's the funnel. So here it starts with you make a YouTube video in landscape, then you crop that and you make that into a reel. Then you can put that on TikTok and then you can get this transcript, the writing, and then you can send that to your email list. And then you can also put it on Twitter. So with one piece of content, you hit every single platform. So you literally just make one YouTube video and then you upload to everything. Whereas you can't do that the opposite way. You can't make a vertical video and put it sideways, or you can't write a tweet and turn it into a video. So it has to go this way. So that's why YouTube is the most important.
But it's a lot of work doing all of that. Do you use any kind of AI for that?
I've tried to, and it's just not there yet. Like it's still a bit like obviously AI. The editing is kind of weird on it. Like so, I do sometimes use it to help, but it's not at the point. It probably will be in maybe like 1 or 2 years where it can like edit a full video. But I've tried to like give it raw footage, and it just messes it up.
And where do you get inspiration for videos? Do you watch anyone else's YouTube channels, and where do you get your inspiration?
For sure, yeah. I watch YouTube nonstop. I always like, if I spend 30 minutes scrolling TikTok, I feel like shit afterwards. I'm like, this is, I learned nothing. Whereas if I sit down on YouTube for like 30 or 40 minutes, I actually learn. You know, so I think YouTube, it's like YouTube, long form content is fine dining, short form is fast food. And so I watch a lot of long form and get inspiration from that. And if anyone is struggling, they're listening, they're struggling to make content, here's what you do. You just make 100 videos first, you know, short form reels or long form, whatever. Make 100, don't overthink it. Then go into your analytics and look at your top 10 performing videos. That is now your niche. So you get those 10 videos and then you make them 100 times. But so until you make 100 videos,
you're not going to know.
You're not going to know. So just start. And but the thing is, 99% of people won't start and they will never reach 100 videos. Here's another fun fact about podcasts. If you just get to episode 20, you're in the top 10% of the world.
I know.
It's never been easier to be successful. It's never been easier to win because no one else even shows up to the race.
That's so true. I'm episode 30 now.
You're in the top. You're in the top.
And I got my analytics for 2024 and I'm in the top 10% of video podcasts in Spotify. And I was like, how is that even possible?
I know. I'm not surprised. Yeah.
But it is true. Like a lot of people start do 1, 5, 10, and then like, this is hard. This is not getting anywhere. No money. Whatever.
Exactly.
But yeah, to keep pushing, you know, I think that's the key.
And that's why I jumped on today because I saw all the episodes you've done, and also you've got some great guests as well. Like a few people I know. I know Santi from Silicio. That's another great brunch spot we forgot to name. And you've a lot of episodes, and some people will ask me to do a podcast, and they haven't even uploaded an episode. They're like, I'm planning on launching a podcast. Would you be my guest? I'm like, no, you've put in no effort. Like, you know, at least start with like 5 friends or something that you can get before reaching out to people. Crazy.
Yeah. But it's also just having the courage to do it because, you know, I've contacted some people that I haven't known personally, but they've all said yes. And I was like, all I had to do was ask.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's, the courage is maybe they say no. Well, then they say no, but at least I asked. And to be honest, no one has said no. So why not?
There you go. Glad I didn't say no now. Yeah. No. But like you'd be surprised as well how friendly everyone is in Marbella.
Yeah, super
crazy.
Nice. Yeah.
Like people think they see yachts and the cars and the 20 grand bottles in Now Pool Club, and they're like, oh God, everyone in Marbella, you know,
so superficial.
It's superficial. We've made like the nicest connections here.
Yeah.
Everyone's in a good mood because it's sunny. You know, everyone's outside and happy.
And also you're attracting the right kind of people with your energy.
Thank you. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to, you know, build Marbella into like a little digital nomad place in Europe.
I think it's working.
Oh, yes, for sure. Yeah. Every business event sells out.
Yeah. So what would be the downside of your job? Obviously, you're having an amazing life. You're super happy, but there must be something that...
Yeah. So, you know, I hate to complain, and I really like, you know, I really don't think there's any actual massive downsides. Like it really is a dream life, thank God. But if I had to choose one, you're just always on. Like there's no, I sometimes envy people that have like Monday to Friday and then they completely switch off for the weekend. I'm like, most days I don't know what day it is. I'm like, is it Tuesday? Is it Saturday? Like,
so you never take a week off?
No, I haven't taken a week off in like 10 years. You just, some days I will do a lot more than others, you know, and this is also a good piece of advice. Every single day, 7 days a week, 365, do something that will bring you closer to your end goal. It doesn't have to be absolutely massive. It could just be like writing a tweet, responding to some people, going to the gym. And then some days you'll do like a huge product launch and you'll make a massive sales. Some days you'll make insane progress. Some days you'll make a little bit of progress. It doesn't matter. You just have to do something every single day that'll bring you closer to where you want to be.
So you don't get tired of filming of yourself ever?
Some
mornings you're like,
I do. Some you have a big spot here, and your hair is not cooperating, and you're just like, I don't want to go. Oh yeah, that's another thing. So like, if you're hungover as well, and that's what made me stop like drinking a lot because I can't work. I can't go on camera if I'm hungover, you know, and I can't even like respond to a text. So yeah, that's one thing. Like if you're an entrepreneur, like a lot of my friends who are entrepreneurs, they just don't drink simply because they don't have time to be hungover. Yeah. It takes like 3 days.
No,
it's like half the week. Yeah.
Not good for your body, not good for your brain, not good for anything.
No.
Really. Just has a short term. effect.
Exactly.
Short-term
Short-term
relaxing.
satisfaction.
Not great.
Yeah.
Not great. So where do you see yourself in 5, 10 years? Do you see yourself doing the same thing? Filming yourself, filming your child, maybe living the family life here?
Yeah, exactly. So your audience grows with you.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we got married last summer and,
Mm-hmm.
now we're having kids and my audience is loving that. Like, so
Mm-hmm.
I've got, just for example, a lot of messages being like, oh, I can't wait to see how you sustain your fitness as a dad. So
Mm-hmm.
that's a challenge that I'm really looking forward to. I just got a
And
home gym
yeah,
installed
have to,
2 days
have to
ago
show me.
just for that.
That's
So,
cool.
I can
Yeah.
have the baby lips there while I'm working out. And so that's a challenge I'm really looking forward to. But honestly, I want to keep doing the same thing. I've been doing it for 10 years and I want to keep doing it
Yeah.
for 20 more years. And when
Mm-hmm.
I look at the guys, the best in the business, Joe Rogan, #1
Mm-hmm.
podcaster
Mm-hmm.
in the world, he's nearly 60. I
Yeah,
want to be
it's
like
like,
that. I want to be doing that.
yeah.
And so there's so many people that I look up to. Actually, most podcasts I listen to, the guys are like in their 40s,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
50s, because
Mm-hmm.
they're the people with the most life experience.
Yeah.
So I'm always going to be creating content. I'm always going to be into the gym. It's always going to be revolving around fitness.
And what about ultra marathons and all of that? Are you
So
into that?
I'm doing a high rocks
Uh-huh.
in 1 month in
Wow.
Malaga.
Wow.
So that's like going to be extremely difficult. Like that is
Mm-hmm.
very endurance based.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's going to be my first, because I've competed in lots of bodybuilding
Mm-hmm.
shows, but like you just stand there.
Yeah. It's like
You don't have to go anywhere.
try and run
Yeah,
50 miles. Oh.
exactly. Running, it's like all lifting. Running is
Uh-huh.
like banned. But so I've got my first High Rocks competition in March 23rd in Malaga. And so there's a lot of people in Marbella doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see how I get on.
So you're interested in going into that?
Exactly, because I've just been lifting weights for
Mm-hmm.
like 14, 15 years now. And I'm kind of like, I've gotten everything I could
Mm-hmm.
get out of that.
So
And
let's
so the
try
natural
something.
progression is people sometimes go into like combat sports
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
endurance-based sports.
Do you follow Rich Roll?
Yeah, you
Love
amazing
his
podcast.
podcast.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just watched his
And
podcast.
overall him and his journey and I love his
Crazy.
story.
Yeah,
It's
and
amazing.
what age is he?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
he looks like Jesus.
Yeah,
He
but he's
has
super inspiring.
exactly, yeah. So there's a lot of people think there's an age limit on social media, and
Mm-hmm.
there's really not. I actually kind of say the opposite. I think the more life you have, the more experience you
Mm-hmm.
have, the more you're worth listening to.
Yeah, but also he didn't start his fitness journey until he was like 40-ish.
Yeah.
That's when he started doing the ultra running and ultra marathon, which is crazy. You think like I'm turning 40 soon, so I'm thinking, oh my God, my life's over. No, you can just start doing something completely new, transform your life. It's never too late.
Only just beginning.
Yeah, amazing. So anything else you want to say to my followers?
Yeah.
Any last piece of advice? Should they take your coaching? I feel like you should be coaching also like social media and YouTubers.
Yeah.
Are you planning on doing
Yes,
anything
so that is funny you
like
mentioned that. I'll be launching a kind of like a resource within the next month. So I'm currently filming all the content for that. I can actually put this podcast in that because there was
would be great.
a lot of talk about social media as it's something I'm really passionate about, like just figuring it all out and the psychology behind it and what converts to sales, what doesn't. I'm really passionate about that as well. So I'll be launching that in the next month.
Amazing.
And that'll be like not only very online business focused, but also like very my expertise in the fitness industry. So very focused on people that want to take their personal training business online.
That's great.
So
Yeah,
very
because
excited
it's
for that.
also constantly changing. There is no actual resource center where you go and check, oh, this is how it is, because it's changing daily.
It's all
And if you're not
new.
using it, you don't know what's happening.
It's
So
all
Instagram
new.
Reels, stories, TikTok. I mean, it's crazy.
Like when I started Instagram, you could just upload pictures. There was no stories. You couldn't even do stories.
But now it's all about the stories.
I love that's where you get
It's
the most, you convert the most
authentic.
sales because people can click the link.
Yeah.
Whereas if you do a post, people can't click the post. Stories are almost, in my opinion, more valuable than posting.
And they're more authentic. I think people, that's why they love them. I love them because I can actually see what you're doing.
Yeah.
Instead of the curated feed that is a little bit.
Exactly. And they're instant as well. You can just throw them up. So Reels didn't even exist until like a few years ago. So it's always changing. So it's all new.
Great.
Yeah. Keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. And you have to make sure to visit my blog to see more of Rob's favorite places to go out for a drink. I'm going to ask you to list those as well.
Will do.
And of course, I'm going to list your YouTube channel so we can see how the baby life is.
Exactly. See if I've still got my sanity and my gains.
All you need is the sleep. That is like the one thing that you're going to deprive a little bit, but I think if you're mentally strong, and just get some help. I think
Yeah.
that would be my number one advice. That just get some help, because you don't have to do it all. Like you
Yeah.
said, you can't do it all. You need an editor. You need that. So I think with the baby it's the same.
Exactly. We're already
Just get some
planning.
help.
We're planning our first date night.
And for that you need help, because you don't have families there as
Exactly.
well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. But yeah, guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
YouTube, Rob Lipsett, Instagram, Rob Lipsett. Username is the same on everything. I'd love to connect with you. Thank you so much for listening.
Great. Thank you for your time.
No worries. Put it
Thank
there.
you.
Boom. Smash. There we go.
Thanks. This episode is brought to you by Sandon, a family-run furniture company with a brand new flagship store in Forum, Marbella.